Hi, this is Aaron with Zollotech. Today we're going to do a one-day follow-up on the LG Ally. So let's go ahead and turn it on. And you can see it's pretty slow. I'll tell you my initial impressions is this phone is last gen and slow. So that's my take on it, but from what I understand, it is very reasonably priced. So if you're in a budget crunch there. Now my take is if you can afford the data plan, you should go with the best phone you can afford. Don't skimp on it just because you're going to end up paying more on the data plan than you are for the phone. And in the long run, you could sell your phone for probably a decent amount depending on how good it is. So there we go. Kind of a random sound once it's booted up, but here we are. Main interface. Let's go ahead and unlock it. You can see it's kind of slow response. There we go. So here's the main interface on the front. Go ahead and hit the center. It zooms in, zooms out, kind of like the Nexus 1. See how slow it is? This is on a first boot up. It's a little bit choppy. Now I'm not saying it's not functional. It just feels like a last gen phone. Basically because it is. This does not have a gigahertz processor in it. But see how slow it is. Now let's go home, or to the home button here. There. And you kind of have to push it pretty good to get that to work. So let's scroll from side to side and I'll show you that. So how's that little bit of chop there? Yeah, there we go. Now to give you a comparison, I have the Fascinate here. Let's unlock that. And you can see it's nice and smooth. And it responds very well. Where this one, like I said, is last gen. Doesn't respond as great. Now, like I said, it's definitely functional, but we've just moved on from this sort of Android phone. This is last gen, or last year, really. It's not that long ago. But it works fine. And if you were to compare this to something like the G1, or something along the lines of the 600 megahertz type style, you're going to get similar results. So it's definitely functional, but the screen is tiny. So as you can see, again, this is 4-inch. I think this is 3.2 if I remember correctly. Now let's go to the browser and we'll check that out so I can show you. And let's load, let's load my site here, Zollotech. And it's actually not too bad speed-wise, loading websites and things. But it just feels a little bit sluggish overall. Now, if you've never had a smartphone and you really like this as opposed to something like the Droid 2, well, I don't think you're going to be disappointed, but you are going to notice a difference if you're coming from something, with 1 gigahertz. You wouldn't want to step back. So you can see it's pretty fast. It does have pinch to zoom. And that responds pretty well, but you can see there's kind of like a little bit of a delay there. Whereas, let me show you on the Fascinate here. Let's go into the browser. Always auto loads, there we go. Go to my site, and we'll wait for that to load. Oh, and I'm on 3G with 1 bar. That's why it's kind of slow on Wi-Fi with the Ally. So let's go ahead. Pinch to zoom, you can see is really quick, responsive. Where on this, it's okay, but it does feel like it doesn't respond to your fingers right away. So you may want to consider that. If that's not a factor for you, great. It may not be a bad choice. Now, you do have some convenient features that they seem to be putting on most Android phones now, where you can adjust the brightness real quick. So that's full bright. That's as dim as it gets. And you can see the screen a little bit better, I think. It doesn't wash out the screen here. So you can see the response is pretty good when you flip it sideways. Now it goes back. Little bit delayed. Overall, though, it's your standard stock Android. So I prefer this Fascinate. Obviously, it's a nicer, faster phone. It's tough to kind of go back to this. However, for a first-time user, like I said, it would be pretty good. This is just the stock setup. Haven't really loaded anything on here. You have your standard widgets. Nothing really fancy on here that LG's done. Kind of just loaded stock Android 2.1. And let me show you that, just so any of you that might question. Go to About the Phone, And, oh shoot, where is it? Firmware, 2.1, update 1. So, it is 2.1. I don't know when 2.2 is coming out for it. When I did get it, it initially had an update that I think brought it to 2.1. I'm not really sure. I didn't pay much attention. I just updated it. But other than that, not a bad phone. Just, it's got to be for someone that wants an inexpensive Android phone with a QWERTY keyboard. And it's okay. But we'll do a full review after I've used it for a while. Maybe my impressions will change a little bit. And there could be some trade-offs, such as maybe a longer battery life, things like that. This is Aaron with Zollotech. Please subscribe and comment, and feel free to ask any questions. I'll try and answer those for you. We'll see you next time.